All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to unlock some serious hidden power in your home router. If you've ever wanted to run something powerful like Docker directly on your network hardware, well, we're going to walk through exactly how to do it. It's a really good question, isn't it? Your router probably has a pretty decent processor, a good bit of RAM. It's basically a little computer. So why does it feel so locked down? Why can't it just handle something as useful as Docker right out of the box? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. And boom, here it is. The entire problem boils down to one thing: storage. The internal flash memory on most of these routers is teeny tiny. We're talking just megabytes. It's barely enough for the operating system, and that's it. But that little USB port on the back, that's your ticket to gigabytes of space, way more than enough for what we want to do.
And look, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's the hard evidence. This is what you see when you run a simple df-h command. Check out dev/root. That's the internal memory. 100% full. Not a single byte left. Now look at dev/sda1. That's our USB drive. Almost 60 gigabytes free. The solution is literally staring us right in the face.
All right, so section 1. Before we can tap into all that massive USB storage, we've got to get that drive prepped and ready for action. It's a simple 3-step process, really. First, we're going to check what kind of file system it has. Second, if it's not the right one, we'll format it. And third, we'll mount it so the router's operating system can actually see and use it. Easy. So here's the deal. Not all file systems are the same. For a stable Linux-based system like OpenWrt, the one you're really looking for is ext4. This quick command tells you exactly what you've got. If you see ext4 pop up in the output, you're golden. You can skip the next step.
Okay, hold on. This is super important. If your drive is not ext4, the very next command is going to format it. And formatting means everything, and I mean everything, on that drive will be permanently deleted. So please, for the love of all that is good, double-check that you've backed up anything you care about.
All right, with that very important warning out of the way, this is the command that gets the job done. It reformats the drive to that robust, reliable ext4 file system, getting it perfectly ready for Docker.
And for the final piece of the prep puzzle, we just have to mount the drive. This basically tells the operating system, hey, see the storage? Make it available right here. And just like that, our USB drive is officially ready for action.
Okay, drive is prepped and ready. Now for the main event, installing Docker. And, this is the crucial part, telling it to live on our spacious new USB drive instead of that cramped internal flash. And the whole thing breaks down into 4 simple steps. We'll install Docker, stop it for just a moment, do a little bit of directory magic, and then fire it back up to make sure everything worked.
Actually, installing Docker is pretty much the easiest part of this whole thing. It's just 2 standard commands in OpenWrt. First, update the package list. Then install the Docker and Docker-deed packages. Simple enough, right?
But here's the catch. Right after you install it, if you check the configuration, you'll see the Docker root dir is pointing to /var/lib/docker. And that location, that's on the tiny internal flash. This is the exact problem we're here to fix.
And this is where the magic really happens. It's a pretty clever little trick. We stop the Docker service so it isn't using that folder. Then we just delete the original folder. Finally, we create what's called a symbolic link. Think of it like a Windows shortcut that has the exact same name, but it points to a new folder on our USB drive.
And check this out. This is the aftershot. We run Docker info again, and would you look at that? The Docker root dir is now pointing to our USB drive. Docker has no idea anything changed. It thinks it's writing to the old spot, but our little link is redirecting everything perfectly. Success. So, we've prepped the drive. We've done the relocation magic. But does it actually work? This, right here, is the moment of truth. Let's try to run a container. So, to see if all our hard work paid off, we're going to run the classic Hello World test. We're asking Docker to go out, download this tiny container, and run it. If this works, we know our entire setup is solid. And boom, there it is, that beautiful message. Hello from Docker. This confirms everything. It means Docker was able to pull the image, save it to our USB drive, and run the container without a single hiccup. Our project is a total success. So now that we know it works, let's do a super quick recap of why this method is so effective and, more importantly, so stable.
So, just to wrap things up, a few key things to remember. Always use the ext4 file system. It's just more stable for this kind of thing. This whole method stops you from filling up that tiny internal drive, which, by the way, is the #1 reason Docker just randomly crashes on routers. And the best part, this whole setup is so efficient it works great even on less powerful hardware.
And really, that's all there is to it. You've just taken a standard piece of networking gear and turned it into a real, honest-to-goodness microserver that can run all sorts of incredible applications. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it first?